Hello and welcome to the show. You guys have wanted me to, for a while, have a go at building various M3s for Autocross. So today, I'm going to have a go with my favourite of the M3s, the E30, mainly because of DTM. I do quite like this car, though. I expect this will probably do pretty well. Be interesting to see how it fares against the Mercedes 190E that went much earlier in the series, since they are great rivals. Yeah, I suspect it'll be a pretty solid car. We're going to start off by doing all of the handling parts. I am probably not going to bother changing the engine. This should get more than enough power out of the standard engine to get it into A-class comfortably. All sorts of different options. That's... Yeah, it's an interesting one, but we'll go for the Forza ones because they give us the more downforce, so we will take that. We're going to want some race tyres. Now, the M3 is going to be relatively light. It's not going to be the sort of the ridiculous level of lightness that we have seen from some vehicles, especially from the sort of the little track cars, etc. Tyre widths 265s are okay. I'd like slightly bigger tyres. Probably should be plenty with this car. As I was saying, it's a smaller, lighter vehicle than some that have gone, not quite the crazy levels of lightness, but we should have a pretty good power to weight ratio. Equally, it's not likely to be the most powerful car either. It's going to probably go somewhere in the middle and hopefully be quite well balanced all right. Actually, that's not too bad at all. 2,337 pounds, although some more weight will go in when I put the roll cage on. You want the chassis rigidity, you want every little last bit of handling that you can really get out of the vehicle, which is why I am putting all of these bits and pieces on the car. We'll have a look just in case. Sometimes Gearbox can lower PI. I sometimes forget about it. Oh no, we already start off with the kind of street, what would be an equivalent of a street gearbox. So that will stay there. We'll put the diff in as well. What engines do we have? Not that I particularly want to swap. Turbo Rally, V8, 3.2 litre i6, or the 5.2 litre V10. All of them are considerably heavier. And that one, the i6 is only a little bit heavier. They're all fairly heavier though than the standard one. We'll give it a standard engine. Aspiration, you can put a turbo on it. We'll see if we can get away with not needing a turbo to get the car up into A-class. I would expect that we could, yeah, especially seeing as 21 horsepower there has jumped the PI up so massively. I'm thinking that we probably won't have too much in the way of problems with this. Power-wise, yeah, we're probably going to be getting a smidge under 400. I'm going to go with that as my guesstimate for this. We probably are going to have them in there because we are going to be trying to get as much power out of this as we can. 361 horsepower. I can't remember how much the Mercedes 190E had. I think it was around a similar level. I think the 190E wasn't amazingly powerful for this. 394, there we go. That's pretty spot on if we go for that. I suspect this is going to, we can do 383. Let's just have a look if we can do it this way around. 383, no, that'll be 404. It's too much. I wonder if there is. Okay, we're going to play the game of try to balance it. 395. Bugger it. They can stay as they were. Eventually, the game lets me. Oh, it actually did. The thing in the game was freezing on me slightly. It did do it nicely for me. 394 horsepower in the BMW. We will have a look. See if we can get any of these bits on. Sometimes you can. There you go. See, we can get 2.3 pounds out of the vehicle. Might as well, seeing as it is free PI. I shall take that. Yeah, I think it's a relatively, certainly statistic-wise, it's a very middle of the road compared to some of the cars that have gone of late. But if it handles well, I suspect it'll go pretty damn quickly. Of course, to test out the BMW, we have come to the Hockenheim circuit, where it will have 3 runs through the Autocross course. in an attempt to go as fast as our current leader, the Lamborghini Miura. Lamborghini's time, 2:03.3, was an incredible run and very much moved the benchmark quite a way away from the rest of the cars. I suspect the M3 is not going to be quite on that level. Will be interesting to see how it fares, as I said, against the Mercedes 190e, 2:06.4 for the Mercedes. So I think it definitely has potential to get into the 2:06s, and we could well see it around the 190e. Maybe it might go a little bit faster. Who knows, though? It will all come down to these runs to see how well the car drives. Little bit more in the way of oversteer than I would ideally like from the vehicle there. How are we going to fare at this high-speed gate? Acceleration is incredible in this car. Oh, that's a lot of oversteer. That might be about the most oversteer we've seen from a car for some time, since probably the BuzzBox RX-7. That's about the only car that's really let go in as spectacular a manner as the M3 is. It is a very, very leery, very sideways car. I was pretty impressed by the acceleration, though, on the vehicle. We're going to get up to, it's 122. So this is right up there with the very fastest of accelerating cars around this course. You've got to bear in mind, it's got just under 400 horsepower. We've had cars with, 450 horsepower that have been lighter than this. So this is doing something right with the acceleration. Unfortunately, it is doing other things wrong with the back end of the vehicle. It is a wiggly bugger, and just nicked that gate on the way through. And that is not really to my liking with this, but we're going to have to try and cope with it. I think once the tyres have warmed up, we will probably fare a little bit better. Yeah, if you try and get on the power as early as you can through that gate there, or through that section, I should say, because it's kind of in between gates, I suspect we're going to see the car go very, very sideways. So having to be a little bit more cautious. Can carry good speed. Actually can carry good speed with this vehicle throughout some of these gates, despite its being quite scary and sideways at times. Yeah, it is maintaining some decent it's just sudden sideways moments from the M3. Oh, okay, that was not quite such a close call with that one. I caught that one up big time. Right, across the line, 10 seconds of a time penalty in that. A couple of big slides. This is looking like a quick car, actually, if I can keep it all under control. Well, the M3 may not be the easiest of vehicles to tame for this autocross course. It is considerably more oversteery, certainly in the last few cars that I have taken around, probably the most oversteery of the lot. I'm thinking that my best bet with this one is going to have to be driven quite smoothly and try and not spin up the wheels too much. Of course, I am still wanting to put the power down out of these corners and get as good a run out of the turns as I can with the car. It's just there. It's still carrying good speed, and that's the thing that is slightly tricky with this vehicle, is it carries great speed through the gates. It actually carries stupendous speed through the gates. It doesn't feel like it because it's very much on edge, and it's not on edge in the way that I would like it to be particularly, but it does carry good speed. It's maintaining above 70 miles an hour through there, and then it's fast accelerating out of the other side as well. Now, I'm braking a little earlier just so I can try and get a nice smooth run through here. And I have been tending to do that as well with cars a little bit, just focus on getting it neat through here rather than getting the last couple of miles an hour out of it down the straight, because after all, the corners with this, much more important than the short bit of accelerating. I think I'm going to keep it in second gear, but I have run it too deep into the first part of that. Can get it up to speed, though, very quickly on the exit of that section. Like here, we don't have a problem with oversteer in that change of direction, which is nice. It's, it's some other places, like this part here. I'm surprised that that change of direction I just mentioned doesn't get the car sideways. That is where we have had some vehicles have issues, and other places, this thing is very, very slidey. So, God damn it, I just ran a millimetre or two, maybe a few centimetres more than millimetres on that part. It's annoying because it was going pretty pretty well on this particular run up towards, or left it a little too late to turn in there, up towards the final gates, and now I'm pushing it too hard. Well, the run was over anyway, so might as well see what we can do. It's another, well, 10 seconds of time penalties on that one yet again. Makes this is going to be close with the BMW, the Focus, and the Renault. On to the final run for the BMW, and despite it being a little bit of a handful, not really quite to my personal preference when it comes to handling characteristics, if I can keep it out of the barrels, if I can stop there being any big oversteering moments, it looks like it can get a pretty damn fast time. It's a little bit of an odd one to drive in some respects. It doesn't feel that fast through some of these gates. It is incredibly quick. It doesn't feel as fast through them though, and I think it's because I am always a little bit on edge with the car. I'm always a little bit nervous of quite what it's doing and fighting the car through some of these sections. It can carry the speed, it's just, yeah, a little bit, I'm never quite sure what the vehicle is up to, and when we might at the last second catch some horrible oversteering bits like that. That is incredibly quick through that section. Oh, back end's wanting to. I can't say I've ever had any other car with the back end wanting to go quite in that manner through that section. Certainly not for a while, but it is still really very quick. I'm pushing this car and just gotta watch it. Really got to watch out for the back end wanting to let go on you. This curb, I suspect, will be a nasty bugger, so we're going to give it a little bit of a wider berth. Some cars, quite a few cars have had problems hitting the inside curb. Some can get away with running across it. I get the feeling that this would not be one of them. I suspect we would hit it and there would be big oversteer moment. Like that for an oversteer moment. It's a tiny oversteer moment in sort of relation to other oversteer moments, but on an autocross course where you have to be so precise, that is not what I want the car doing, coming to the narrowest section on the track. And again, we get a very, very big slide from the car. And that is the problem that I have with this one. Get it slowed, get it stopped for that corner. Right now, just the run towards the finish line here. We're probably going to be able to get on the power relatively early. We can. Oh, it's going to be pretty good. 205.5 from the BMW. It was that big slide towards the end that certainly will have costed a little bit of time. That's just the problem with this car. It does not have the rear grip. It will let go on you when you're pushing the vehicle really, really hard. And that is the difficulty that you don't get with the other very quick cars that are at the top of the table. They just don't quite behave in that manner. The front end of this car gets changed direction very, very well. It is a good handling car. It's just too unpredictable for this kind of thing, especially when you're running in such close confines with the car. It's yeah, quite scary. Impressive vehicle, I've got to say. I wasn't expecting it to quite be this quick. I thought it might be, yeah, it's got great acceleration. I thought it might be a little bit further down the comparison, but yeah, it's time. We'll put the car into 6th place. It goes ahead of the 60 Corvette, beats the Volkswagen Beetle, the Mazda RX-8 and the Camaro SS. However, it is, we are already talking fractions here, down on the 911 GT3. This is a very, very crowded area of the table now, the low 205s. It's a lot of cars in that area. It's slower than the Renault 5 does beat it, as does the Focus RS. It's all very, very crowded. Had we not had some big slides with the car, yeah, we probably could have got a couple of tenths more. It would challenge the Renault 5, maybe the Focus. It's around that kind of level, but the back end letting go is one of the dangers, one of the risks with this vehicle. Still, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it overall. Just, yeah, gotta definitely watch out with that very lively back of the car. However, that is it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.